I made 100 divines in 2 days with profitable gambling and created a website so you can too. Because most gambles look like this.
Oh my god. It's a massacre.
An actual mirror just poof.
Oh god, these Enlightens. Oh my god, not a single one. We've already deleted an apothecary card, and now we'll delete 5.
But a profitable gamble looks like this. This is a gamble where on average you will make profit, and if you're a bit lucky you will make big profit. The gamble is gem double corruption, and for that I have created a website. It's called Path of Exile Gambling Helper. On this website you can see the average profit per try of every gem, and that way you can choose a gem that you want to do this strat with. You can use different filters to look for your gem, but I already know my desired gem is going to be Awaken Enhance support. As you can see, the Awaken Enhance support has a cost of 7 divines. If you combine it with the temple, it's 7.44 divines per try. In the worst case, you will get 4 divines back. In the middle case, you would get 5 divines back. And in the best case, you would get 113 divines back. So this makes out an average profit per try of 24.53 divines. On average, if you try often enough, you will get 24.5 divines each try as pure profit. If you have picked your gem and you want to start, you can just click on price raw and on temple cost. This will open the trade website with a direct search for the correct item. If you are not using the website and you want to make the search on your own, please make sure that the gem level is max level and it's not corrupted. So for Awaken Enhanced, this is level 4 uncorrupted. And if you're looking for your Chronicle of Azuatel, please make sure that it has the room Doriana's Institute as open room. That way it can't be one of the obstructed rooms and you see Doriana's Institute right here. You would just now direct whisper both players and buy the items. So once you have bought the gem and the Chronicle, just pop the Chronicle in and enter. Once you have entered, look at the temple map and find the path to the Doriana's Institute room. In this case, it's directly right off the entrance. You can make this gamble a lot more profitable by running other rooms in the temples. That is because a lot of rooms can have very profitable items. Some rooms that are worthwhile, in my opinion, are the item and currency rooms on level 3, the unique room on level 3, and the apex if you can one-shot the boss. If you also do the other rooms, then you can raise your profit floor. And you might get lucky and get some nice drops. This league, I got a vial from the apex that creates a 1 divine item. I also got a Enlighten, and I dropped a Calandra's Touch, which was worth around 35 divines. Once you are in the Doriana's Institute, you just walk up to the lens here, you left click this, and then you pray and left click this. This time nothing happened, which is pretty sad. But this can either go one level up, one level lower, or stay the same. And staying the same has the most weight. With 50% of the time it will just stay the same. Now I can explain a bit why I always choose Empower and Enlighten or Awaken Empower and Awaken Enlighten. It's simply because of 2 factors. Calculation is very easy and the gems are consistently expensive. What do I mean by that? For these gems, quality is mostly irrelevant. If you hit a minus level, then you would want quality to level it back up to max level again. But that's not really relevant and people will buy the gems regardless of quality, so you can just ignore quality. Also, these gems have no VAL version, which would be a whole nother calculation of thinking about, is VAL version profitable or not? How profitable is it? What are the chances of getting one? And because you can ignore VAL versions and quality, the chances of getting a +1 is all that matters. And the chances of getting a +1 is 1/4. You have a 25% chance of getting a +1, a 50% chance of either changing quality or doing nothing, and a 25% chance of getting a -1. This makes profit very easy to calculate. Also, Empower and Enlighten are almost every league so expensive that it's worth, because if you think about it, if you have a 1 in 4 of getting a +1, then the +1 gem should be at least 4 times as expensive as the uncorrupted max level gem, and that is almost every league the case with Empower and Enlighten. If you are interested in how I thought of this, I actually thought of this in 3.16. That was a league where Empowers and Enlightens were kinda expensive, and I thought to myself, if you double corrupt a gem, you cannot roll the same outcome twice. And if it has no while version, the option does not exist, right? And the other options will be higher chances, right? The second assumption was not true, but I didn't know that at the time. So I calculated the probability of getting a +1 and asked a friend to double check my calculations, and he confirmed that the chances of getting a +1 is a third. So back then I created a Excel sheet and calculated if Empowers and Enlighten were profitable and started gambling this way. In 3.18 I used the strat, but was way less lucky, especially in the first day. But I just thought I had bad luck, and this was a small sample size, and that's my thought process. But still, I wrote a small program that calculates things with PoE Ninja data, which is basically how PoE Gambling Helper works now, and used that. Then I started working on PoE Gambling Helper, and while working on PoE Gambling Helper in 3.20, I gambled a lot to have footage for this video and also to have more data to confirm my theory. And while doing that, I noticed that my data isn't showing that it's a 1 of 3 chance. And the other PoE wiki that I didn't look up says that if a gem has no val option, it just does nothing instead. What I thought was that if it has no val option, the other options get a higher chance, which is not the case. So this isn't a 1 in 3, but a 1 in 4. And if I look at my data now, then this is completely accurate and my data supports this theory. In total, this was quite successful for me in all 3 leagues that I tried this, especially in this league where I made 100 divines in a short amount of playtime, and I will probably use this in the future if it's profitable. So yeah, I'm curious if this will be profitable this league and by how much. I'm also curious about how many people will use PoE Gambling Helper. I'm currently working on the next version of PoE Gambling Helper, and I will make a video about that when it releases. So if you want to use PoE Gambling Helper, the link is in the description, and that's it. Have fun gambling and good luck.